We welcome you to episode number 2 of the IU Indy Coaches Show here on the ISC Sports Network. We are inside of the University Tower, and the rebranding is going on as we speak of the restaurant we're coming to you from. That is Jags Crossing, kind of the sports bar here right next to kind of where most student dining is on campus. 3 coaches from 3 Sports to talk about, as again, we are in the heart of the fall sports season. And most everybody is either about to start conference play or has just started conference play. Joining me to my right, he is the volleyball coach here at IU Indy. It is Andrew Kroger. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, 4-5 in terms of the record. You kind of hit the reset button after this weekend because it's all conference play once you get to next week. Overall, how you feeling about your kids through 3 weekends of the season?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. We obviously got off to a really hot start. We knew kind of our style of play lends itself. We are super aggressive and we're going to attack, and so that leads us to playing our best volleyball at the end of the season. And so I think we're doing all of the things right to get us to that spot, and I love where we're going.
All right, so you won your opening invitational of the season in Charleston, South Carolina. And you did so. You played 9 sets, and you won them all. That doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So I looked back on all the teams that I was head coach, assistant coach. I hadn't had a weekend like that. And so it's a testament that we didn't have a weekend without adversity. There were sets in there that we fell behind, and some teams did some good stuff against us. But I think it said a lot about our team that we were able to battle and get a win in each of those sets.
We're putting up, banners for conference championships, NCAA tournament appearances. Do you get a trophy of that? Do you get like T-shirts for winning that tournament, or just an attaboy and here's your plane ticket home?
Just some pride and some good attitudes on the way home.
All right. So one of the things that you get to do, and this is the way again where the volleyball works at the Division I, Division II level. Usually, first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, you're playing all these invitationals, seeing 3 different teams over the course of 3 or 4 days. Get about a month in, then it's all conference matches from that point in time on. It has always been the case that the Jaguars have gotten 1 home weekend. That was last weekend. You brought in Bellarmine, Gonzaga, Northern Illinois. Didn't go as well as you had hoped, but again, preseason results can be deceiving. What'd you learn about your team from those 3 matches where you unfortunately went 0-3?
Yeah, I mean, my goal when creating that event was I wanted 4 teams that were all going to be very competitive, and that's certainly something we saw. None of the teams went 3-0,
right?
And so a lot of teams were beating up on each other. Obviously, we had a tough 5-set loss, and yeah, like I've mentioned before, our execution can continue to get better. But how we try to structure our season, we want to do things that we have room for growth. And so we are serving aggressively, and that means we still need to dial in and maybe make a few more. We need to attack more accurately, and that means we need to continue to work on that and make fewer errors. But I love the progress that we've made. I love the way we competed. And just in a couple of those sets, we were 1 or 2 points short.
All right, so you will have 3 matches in 3 locations, thankfully all of them local, over the course of this weekend. First of all, you're playing Eastern Michigan at home tomorrow night as we are filming this. So a Thursday night home match, kind of a bonus home match against Eastern Michigan. Tell us how you ended up with a home match in this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I think Butler was going to host at Hinkle, and then there was they decided to move this event, and I think it's great for the sport, and
right.
It's great for both of these teams to move a bulk of the event to the Fishers Event Center. And so some of the matches that Butler wasn't involved in, they kind of offered and said, hey, would you probably going to be easier on everybody, on the facility staff, on everybody, and you guys would like to have a home game. And
of
so
course.
we said, absolutely. And so Eastern Michigan is a team that this is the 3rd year in a row we're going to play them. The last 2 seasons, it's gone 5, and so it's somebody we've been really evenly matched with. And so, we're excited to get out and battle them again.
All right, you're going to get to play Butler, which I was on the call of your home match them last year, which was thrilling, a 5-set win very early in the season. But you do get to play at the Fishers Event Center. And for those that do not know, that is the home of the Indy Ignite. So your thoughts about that opportunity on Friday night?
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And obviously, playing Butler is always a fun, good experience for our team. I like this year we have a little bit of experience. Second weekend, we played at Cintas Center down at Xavier, and so we have a little bit of experience playing in a large venue like that because the sight lines are a little bit different, and playing on the Terraflex that it'll be on is a little bit of a different feel. And so it's a cool opportunity for us to go play a big match, an important match, and have a little bit of that experience in that atmosphere.
And then from Friday to Sunday, you go from one Shondell to another. You get a chance to play Purdue, who obviously has now become, most every year, deep into the NCAA tournament squad. What does that opportunity provide for your program?
Yeah, I think this will be a kind of a first for this group. I'm trying to remember. I don't think we've come and played like a top 25 team since we've been here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really cool experience. It is. If it's not sold out yet, it will be. So that it'll be a fun, unique experience. And again, I think a lot of the stuff that we do, the decisions we make tactically, and we're aggressive and we attack, and sometimes it's too many errors, but it also lends to allowing us to compete with some of the higher level teams. And as we go into our season, that's our goal, is to beat those teams at the top of the conference and at the top of the country.
You've got a lot of returning talent, which is always the key to success. Let's talk about Grace Perica. I know she got an award after weekend number 1. I've had the pleasure of covering her as a high school athlete. I've known her mom for 15 years because of winning multiple state championships. How has Grace's season started for you so far?
Yeah, she's been great. She is, without us needing to do a whole lot to help her, she is such a fantastic leader.
Right.
She kind of drives the engine of our team a little bit and really sets the tone for that personality that I've referenced a bunch of times. She goes for it. She's never one that's going to make the safe play. And sometimes we have to talk about, okay, I like that you went for it. Was that the right time?
Can you dial it back a little bit?
Well, there's a smart time for it
Sure.
too. But she's never going to make that decision because she is the moment's too big for her, or she wants to make the safe play. And so that is the mindset I want for our entire team, and she absolutely leads the way there.
All right, Elle Patterson was a tremendous addition for you last year, coming home after going to San Jose State. How has her second season, the Jaguar, started so far?
Yeah, Elle's been battling some injuries, and so it's a little bit hit and miss. But the great thing about Elle is there have been days when her attacking was off, and then we are still able to use her in the back row, and she's able to be a great teammate and contribute in different ways. And so I think her just well-roundedness and ability to execute the stuff that maybe if she's off in one category, she can do the other stuff well, has been a benefit to us.
Now, the last name Tipman is synonymous with Fort Wayne and is synonymous with football, as in there's a current offensive lineman of the New York Jets that has that last name. Because I cover high school football, I think of Coach Tipman at Snyder and his sons that have played for him. You have one that's a pretty good volleyball player that's now on your team. Tell us about her.
Yeah, Jill Tipman has had a great start to her career. Even over these first 3 weeks, she's made tremendous strides. Coming in, we knew she was somebody that could hit the ball really hard, and she certainly has lived up to that expectation. But even in these first 3 weeks, adjusting to the speed and the tempo of Division I volleyball, her blocking this past weekend was light years ahead of where it was even the first 2 weekends. She's serving better. All of the other little things that come along with it, even in this short 2-week period, she's gotten way better. And so I'm really excited for what the next 3.5 years are going to look like for her.
3 matches the next 4 days for the Jaguars, and then from the frying pan to the fire, you get the best team in the league out of the gate, where the conference tournament's been held each of the last couple of years. And it seems like Wright State's pretty good again. Just your thoughts about leading the league activity by going to Dayton next weekend. Yeah,
we're excited for that. I mean, they came to our gym last year, opening weekend, and I think we're better than we were a year ago. But even that weekend, we had a three-set but really close three-set loss on the first night. And then on Saturday, we were up 2-0 and lost a tight one in 5. And so our team knows that we're better than we were a year ago. And so the good news about how kind of a lot of last season went with the competitiveness of that match, knocking off the team that ultimately won the Horizon League a couple of times, we're not intimidated by anybody in our conference. And so we know we can go into those matches, and we're really excited for them.
Good to see you, my friend. Best of luck this weekend, and, of course, when league play starts next weekend as well.
Thanks for having me.
Andrew Kroger, again, he is the volleyball coach here at IU Indianapolis. We'll go from talking volleyball to women's soccer as Angela Berry-White will join us next. Again, we are live at Jags Crossing inside of University Tower on campus, 850 West Michigan, corner of University Boulevard and Michigan Street. Hope you can join us here until 12:30. Back in a moment on ISC.
Odds are you'll never need an open craniotomy from our highly skilled neurosurgeons or treatment for medullary thyroid cancer. Odds are your child will never need a heart transplant. And you might never need screening for genetically inherited high cholesterol. But if you do, trust the healthcare system 9 out of 10 Indiana doctors have chosen for their patients' care. Indiana University Health, no matter the odds.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Welcome back here on the ISC Sports Network. Again, is the IU Indy Coaches Show. We do this every other Wednesday, so the next time we'll be back here will be on October the 1st. We hope you can join us again if you're on campus in the area. Again, we're at Jags Crossing. We're inside the University Tower on the first floor. We talk all things IU Indy athletics. This would not be possible without our friends at BSN Sports, KeyBank, and Ford, our presenting sponsors on the show. And a quick reminder, a great week of fundraising is about to begin at IU Indianapolis. Jags Giving Week goes from September the 22nd, that's next Monday, through the following Monday, September the 29th. I'll simply give you Luke Basso's cell phone number. Call him, pledge whatever you would like. Or IUIndyJags.com always has more. Angela Berry White, who is used to my bad jokes in her days as the analyst for the Indy 11 women's team, and these days the women's soccer coach here at IU Indy, joins us now. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Always great to see you, friend.
You can't get away from the postgame show hosts in this town. You're married to one. You're stuck hanging out with me the rest of the time.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Hey, my life is good.
I know your love and life as a college coach. You always want the record to be better.
Right.
How you feeling about your team right now?
Actually, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. And you do mention the record, which is how you're actually measured as a coach. You're measured as a program. But we told the girls this is going to be a process. And you never want to use excuses, but when you have 4, 5, 6 players on the sideline that should be perhaps on the field, you have to find other ways. And so that was, part of a mental building block for us. And going from one formation that we envisioned the first, couple weeks of the season, which included preseason, because we looked well. We looked well in preseason, and then trying to build into something, and then one thing happens, and the only thing you can do is prepare for that next man up, practice that next day, and hopefully those mental errors don't happen, more than once. So when they do, you have to make adjustments, and that's what we've done. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Good news is your record really is 0-0 because conference play is about to get started.
Exactly.
With a very good Northern Kentucky team that comes to town on Sunday. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Again, I think most know your story, but if not, kind of working backwards, longtime coach at Rebuff High School, state championship coach at Rebuff, former assistant coach at IU, played at a very high level at George Mason. Folks, this is the former Marion County Athlete of the Year that we were talking about dating back to her days at North Central High School. So you know the game and you've been at the college level. How is coaching in college different now than the last time you were doing this down in Bloomington?
Well, it's changed. There's
just
so
a little
many,
bit.
Just a tad. And there's so many more levels now. Levels in terms of, well, first off, you have just on the money side of everything. And what you try and do is, we're trying to put the best team out there possible, and we have some really great kids that want to come here, and we're just trying to get those kids that fit us academically, as well as playing wise. So in terms of how it's changed on the financial side, as we all know, within the last, however many months that things took a turn. And but just in terms of the support, the level, I mean, many years ago, not sitting here doing a coaching show probably, I'll tell you 1,000% that's not true. So more eyes. Every game you're playing, it's visible. You're on a station, whether your game is streamed locally or nationally on ESPN broadcast. That's great to see. So just the visibility of the game on the women's side has grown exponentially, and it will continue to do so. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is just the growth of it.
Before you go about bringing in new players, you sort of about kind of recruiting your own players, those that were brought in by Coach Johnson, who have been here forever today, and frankly, still on the athletic staff at IU Indianapolis as well. What has the buy-in been like from those players that elected to stay?
Well, everyone elected to stay, which is always good. And, they're here first, which is great. It shows why they are here as a student athlete.
Yep.
And we have, across all disciplines, we have nursing majors, we have business majors. And how can you turn your back against a great diploma, a great degree from this institution, knowing that you're walking away from, it's just not a 4-year decision when you're coming out of here, it's a 40-year decision, because you're able to get a great degree from this outstanding university, knowing that it's Indiana University that's going to be on your diploma, and it's going to give you a stepping stone to life. So that's great that they all decided to stay here, and it's a good core group of young women, and they're battling things, Some of them are battling injuries, and we've seen that. But also just dealing with a new system, and they've bought in. And like I said earlier, it's a process, and they're continuing to build on this process.
All right, so let's talk about some of your individuals. Again, I can think of Caroline Kelly's had plenty of goals over the last couple of years. Everybody's kind of you've got several players that have won so far. From a scoring standpoint. Who are you kind of looking to lead the charge right now?
Well, you mentioned Caroline right off the bat.
Yeah.
And she's knocking at the door. She's hit crossbars, she's hit posts, she's hit our own teammates, you name it, but she's been right there. And a goal scorer is, what she is right now, and what she's shown the last couple of years, that she is a true goal scorer. So just by creating more opportunities for her and continue to feed her the ball. Feed the bear, let it happen. And we're doing that. And I, keep telling her. And she's had some great balls for assist. And she only has one on the year. I mean, no, we haven't scored as many goals as I would like to. But as you said, we're 0-0 right now. And we're going to continue to, just create those opportunities. So Carol's done a great job. We have we have a 6-year player who's on the injured list. And, it's a timetable as to when she'll return, Antoine.
Yep.
We have Emma Fry, who's a great free kick specialist, and
made Sports Center a couple times last year.
Just a couple on it, and I think I know the person on the call.
Yep, one of those.
Yeah. And so, in terms of looking for her as a leadership, and she's now going to be moving up the field a little bit more in terms of what we're doing and switching around our attack. And then we have a couple freshmen that have stepped in. We had one that scored a great goal just the other day when we were playing against Toledo to tie it up 1-1, and that was Macy Salmon. So we're looking for other people to contribute, and that's what we want. We're not going to key on one person, but we do know that Caroline Kelly, we call her Carol, does a great job in being a focus of our attack. And there's always 2 players on her in the attacking third, because they know how dangerous she is.
Let's go to the back, because you knew you'd have to replace a very experienced keeper from last year.
Yes.
Sarah Bambrick won the job. Tell us about how she's doing.
Well, she's had, she had a little rough go of it since the Indiana State game, where she was knocked out with a concussion, and also had a little bit of a tooth injury. So she was out of the lineup for a couple weeks.
Yep.
And she won that, won that job coming in. And now we had some promise coming from Arissa North, who stepped in, and and in terms of the records, I'm not really going on the record, but going on, their performance in training, how they do in situations in the game. So right now, Sarah is back to being Bambrick, back to being our starter, with Arissa challenging, and we feel comfortable in that, but also knowing that if something happens, Arissa can step in for us as well.
Milwaukee is always the program you shoot for in terms of the league, but the team that's been right behind them the last couple of years is who you have on Sunday. Northern Kentucky comes here. It's an earlier start because the Indy 11 are playing here as well on Sunday. They have a 5 o'clock game on CBS Sports Network. So give me your thoughts on how good of a challenge the Norse will provide you on Sunday afternoon.
Well, it's a great way to start off our conference.
Yep.
Because, like you said, that they've always been up there in the top two the last couple of years. They have a couple of good returners, so we have to key on those. We have a good week of preparation. And sometimes, it makes you hungrier, and I think it will make us hungrier to get our conference season kicked off on Sunday. So we're hard preparing for the next. We have a couple load days here, which is a rarity. We very, very seldom you don't get this much time off, and we needed it. We needed it for our injuries, getting back people healthy, and so knowing that we will actually have the same lineup for the second game in a row, I'm quite excited about, because we have not had that, that luxury due to so many injuries throughout the course of our pre-conference schedule.
So for what Coach is referring to, usually in the month of pre-conference, you're playing every Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
There's really one day you kind of go at it. 7-day gap from the finale of non-conference play to this one, rested but repped and ready to go.
Yeah.
Final thing, has Eddie figured out where his good hiding spot is to watch the matches at the stadium yet?
Well, as he says, maybe when he steps out of the stadium because he's so nervous, he stepped out on Sunday, we scored.
So don't let him back in.
Don't let him back in.
All
exactly.
the games are on ESPN Plus. He can watch on his phone.
Yeah, and he said the only thing would be better if you were calling the games.
October 9th against Robert Morris. We'll work on more going forward.
I love that.
Sound good?
It sounds great. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Good, great to see you.
Angela Barry-White, again, women's soccer coach here at IU Indy. Justin Amburgy, cross-country coach, will join us next when we wrap up this edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show. We're live at Jack's Crossing here on the ISC Sports Network.
Odds are you'll never need an open craniotomy from our highly skilled neurosurgeons or treatment for medullary thyroid cancer. Odds are your child will never need a heart transplant. And you might never need screening for genetically inherited high cholesterol. But if you do, trust the healthcare system 9 out of 10 Indiana doctors have chosen for their patients' care. Indiana University Health, no matter the odds.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Welcome back for a final time here on the IU Indy Coaches Show on the ISC Sports Network. Again, this show is not possible. A lot of great people behind the scenes, but these sponsors that make it happen too. BSN Sports, KeyBank, and Ford. Again, a reminder, the folks at IU Indy would love to have your donation, well, 24/7, 365, but especially when it comes to Jags Giving Week. Thanksgiving is in November. Jags Giving is in September. September 22nd to the 29th. IUIndyJags.com has more information. Well, we spoke with Andrew Kroger of volleyball, Angela Barry-White of women's soccer, Justin Amburgy now for men's cross country joins us. Justin, the interim head coach of the men's cross country program. What is it like getting that head coach title now for this school?
It's definitely an honor. I mean, I've been mentored by one of the best the past 7 years with Justin Roeder, our previous head coach. Definitely didn't think I'd be here, but super happy to be here.
What is it? You know, in basketball, we say, all right, it's moving one seat over. I'm not sure what the proper analogous comparison would be from a cross-country standpoint, but how is it different going from being an assistant to being the guy leading the charge?
I mean, it's just managing all facets of the program now, not just the recruiting, not just the training, but also the budgetary things there and everything else. Couldn't be possible without, again, Justin Roeder mentoring me.
I'm always fascinated by the mileage you guys put in and frankly by the depth of the program, because you get to count 5 scores. You got way more than 5 guys that are in the program. So I guess let's talk about the depth you have and the way that those guys that may not get to score in a meet all year, but they push everybody else. Always find that remarkable. Ken, your thoughts on what you have in terms of that aspect of the squad?
Yeah, of course. I mean, with the new NCAA rules, we're only allowed to have 17 on our roster this fall for cross country.
Only 17, which again is different than it used to be.
Yep, and we're kind of a different Division I school anyways. We're a distance-only squad here at IU-Indy for the men, so we have about 28 total on the track team. That kind of gives us those extra reserve and that extra depth there to kind of have the guys motivate themselves all year round. But in terms of the top 5, we got a really solid 4 or 5 runners this year. All of our finalists from the 800 meters last track season are looking like they're going to be our top guys in the 8K. Just multiply the 800 by 10, and that's how you get the 8K starting list.
He sounds it's like it's so easy to add on 7,200 meters in terms of running a race. All right, mileage. What sort of miles are your guys putting in every week at this stage of the season?
Yeah, there's a huge range across the team. We're not a program that just sticks to one size all or one training plans fits all. We definitely have a lot of variance in our training plans. Typically, coming out of high school, our freshmen will kind of go close to what their peak mileage was then, and then we'll add cross-training on top of that with swimming, arc training, biking, things like that. But overall, our whole entire variance between the squad is about 45 to 85 miles a week.
All right. Again, he says that so casually. That hits me as soon as he says 45. I get tired driving 45 to 85 miles, let alone trying to run that. But it was the cross-training part that got me, because I'm like, wait a minute, you've got a natatorium, you've got NIFs. That has to be quite the luxury for you to have for this program.
Oh, yeah, of course. All the cross-training equipment that's available at NIFs, and then obviously the natatorium is one of the biggest draws on campus. I know our swim team, swim coaches love to have that here on campus. But overall, cross-training is definitely big for us. We're not a program that likes to throw our guys to the wolves, for a lack of a better term, with super high mileage, like 100 miles a week. We'll instead take a more safe approach, kind of mitigating the risk of injuries there. And then for the guys that are doing some lower mileage, like 40 or 50 miles a week, they're not running the same mileage as the 80-mile guys.
Sure.
You have to supplement that with something else, and we'll do swimming, cross-training like you just mentioned.
The one thing that you have to try to find here, and again, we all live in Flatlandia here in central Indiana, is finding hills. So when it comes to training for hills, where are your go-to spots in town?
Yeah, of course. That's something we've definitely been lacking on the past couple of years, to be honest.
Right.
Obviously, Indianapolis doesn't have too many options for hills. But for us, we started going to Eagle Creek Park this year. They get a nice 5.5-mile loop there, getting some elevation in. We'll go to Crown Hill as well. And then this past Friday, we were at Northview Church for their cross-country course to get some more hill work in for those 1,200s.
Which is a very commonly used course, 131st and Hazeldale area. Church on top of Big Hill. There's a lot of cross-country meets. I think the Jags have hosted a conference meet there in the past, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so again, that has been a usual home. All right, tell us about it. I know you had one kind of individual event a couple of weeks ago, but the first kind of big meet of the season is this weekend. Tell us about it.
Yeah, of course. That first meet of the year is just getting it out of the way, just so we can come back for team camp week early. But the first main one on the schedule, like you said, is this weekend up at Purdue Fort Wayne. That's the location of the Horizon League Championships later this fall, so it's good for our guys to get out there, kind of test out the course. We're going to go a little bit more controlled for the first half of the race and see how fast the guys can close. But it'll be good to kind of get that competition in with 4 of the top 5 ranked Horizon League schools.
You talked about Coach Roeder, obviously Coach Keppen before him. So this is a program that knows a great deal of success. How do you feel you stack up against your other Horizon League competition this fall?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the expectations are super high. I think in 10 of the past 11 seasons here at IU-Indy, we've either been conference champions or conference runner-ups. Yeah. So the expectation is to win here. So coming into the season, Youngstown State is probably the top squad again. They've won 3 in a row the past couple of years. They got a great squad over there. Coach Gorby's done great things with that program, kind of bringing them up. They're probably the favorites again this year, but for us in Oakland, we're kind of the ones that are looking to create that upset later this fall.
All right, so again, if I remember right, I think the cross-country meets the first weekend of November. It's like 1st or 2nd, and again, not too far away, Purdue Fort Wayne. What is the NCAA qualification process like for a school like IU-Indy?
Yeah, making nationals for the NCAA is definitely really tough, especially with the region we're in. We're in the Great Lakes Regional. There's 32 schools total, and only 2 of those schools get an automatic bid. And typically in the Great Lakes, there's 5 top 25 nationally ranked programs. So if I'm being honest, Nationals is probably off the table this year, but with the solid 4 that we got with our underclassmen this year and a solid recruiting class for next year, that's maybe a serious conversation we can have a couple years from now.
And hopefully for you, 1 less word in your title next year as well. Let's hope that is the case. Justin, thanks for the time, and appreciate you taking a break from the mileage to come hang with us for 10 minutes and be sedentary, okay?
Of course. Nice to meet you.
Justin Amburgy, again, he is the interim men's cross-country coach here at IU Indy, and that'll do it for today's show. For all of our ISC guys behind the scenes, thanks to Luke and Ed and Lauren and Emily and everybody else with IU Indy. We'll do this again in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Odds are you'll never need an open craniotomy from our highly skilled neurosurgeons or treatment for medullary thyroid cancer. Odds are your child will never need a heart transplant. And you might never need screening for genetically inherited high cholesterol. But if you do, trust the healthcare system 9 out of 10 Indiana doctors have chosen for their patients' care. Indiana University Health, no matter the odds.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.